All right, guys, welcome back to the best damn podcast around, or maybe the worst damn podcast, depending on how you look at it. Will Reichling, your host here, hold my helmet. NFL Power Rankings. We're 3/4 of the way through the season. Going to get into the Power Rankings, the top 16 teams in the NFL. I'm going to go in reverse order, 16 to 1. Like, subscribe, and share. Let's do it. Number 16. I'm going to put the Dallas Cowboys here. Their offense has been clicking all season long. Dak Prescott's had one of his best years that he's had in his career. The defense has improved a lot too, getting Quinn Williams. I just think it's a little too late at this point, but they have a lot to look forward to going into next season because right now, they're still in the mix of things in the NFC playoff hunt, but they're right now at the outside looking in. There's a lot of really good teams ahead of them, so it might be tough to get into the playoffs right now. With the improvements on defense, though, and how great the offense has played, they have a lot to feel good about right now. Even if they don't make the playoffs, this is still a feel-good season for the Cowboys. Number 15, I'm going to put the Carolina Panthers here. The fact that they're 7-6 is already a great success. A very successful season so far for the Panthers, even if they miss the playoffs. They look like a functional organization now. David Canales has done a great job. Bryce Young has been a little hit or miss this season. I will admit he's been a little inconsistent, but he has had some big-time games and some big-time throws. That Rams team, one of the best defenses in the league. And he pretty much torched them. So that was very impressive. But it's funny because you don't think of Bryce Young as a mobile quarterback, a scrambler. But I actually think he's at his best when he's moving around, when he's extending plays. It's when he sits in the pocket and starts to drift backwards a little bit. That's when you have to start to worry. But this team's competitive. They're in the playoff mix. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs unless they win the division. But I would trust the Bucs more than the Panthers. But what a season this has been so far for the Panthers. A lot of very good wins over very good teams. Number 14, right ahead of them, the Tampa Bay Bucks. Something's just felt off all year, you know? I know it's because of injuries. I know a lot of key players got hurt this season, but it's just something else feels off on top of that. Like Ibuka went from a slam dunk rookie of the year candidate to being a non-factor the last couple of weeks. Yes, love Baker, top 10 quarterback in my eyes. I think he's had a great season, but just something's missing with this team. It feels like something's off. And even if they get into the playoffs, I feel like they're a first-round exit. I feel like it's just inevitable. If they can put together a string of consecutive wins, maybe 2-3 wins in a row, I might start to feel a little better about them. But right now, it doesn't feel right. And I can't be confident about this team if I just feel like they're off. Number 13, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Liam Cohen has done an excellent job this season, no doubt about that. But I still can't trust this team. I still can't trust Trevor Lawrence. He literally has all the tools that you want in a franchise quarterback. Not only a franchise quarterback, but a star franchise quarterback. He has all of those tools. But his decision-making is awful at times. At times, pretty much always. He makes a lot of really stupid decisions over his career, and it really hasn't gotten better. He's been a little better the last couple games, but the first half of the season, they had a winning record, and he was terrible, like objectively terrible. So I can't trust this team, and that's why I have the Texans at 12 ahead of them, because the Texans are probably the hottest team in football right now, best defense in the league by far, and I just trust C.J. Stroud over Trevor Lawrence moving forward in this season. C.J. Stroud has dealt with a lot of adversity over the last probably 2 seasons. You know, banged up offensive line, getting hurt a couple times, struggling. He's looked really strong in key moments. I think C.J. Stroud still is a top 10 caliber quarterback. He's just hit a little bit of a rough patch there. But I think now they're over that hump. Now I think DeMeco Ryans, C.J. Stroud, and the Texans have kind of finally gotten over that hump a little bit. I still would like for them to have a few more offensive pieces moving forward, but there's no doubt that defense is a Super Bowl caliber defense. So if the offense can just put up 23, 24 points a game, they're going to win the majority of the games. Number 11, the Buffalo Bills. I still feel like they need a number 1 wide receiver, but Josh Allen can make it work on any given Sunday. He can kind of carry that offense when he has to. And they have a lot of pretty good complementary pieces. They have Shakir is great at yards after the catch. He breaks a lot of tackles. James Cook is a borderline star running back. He's probably a top 5 running back in the league. And then Kincaid coming back, getting healthy, and really starting to look good the last couple of weeks. They can kind of make it work with that. It's the defense that's just really sketchy. I'm not going to lie. The defense is pretty sketchy. And it's not a playoff caliber defense. And if they have to outscore opponents every single week, it's just not going to work. Because they're not going to outscore opponents every single week. When they play teams like the Broncos, they're probably going to struggle a little bit on offense. And the defense they really can't keep them in the games. So I don't think the Bills are a legit playoff contender this season, Super Bowl contender, but they'll probably be in the playoffs. They will most likely be in the playoffs. Number 10, Los Angeles Chargers. Justin Herbert has a broken hand, and it doesn't really matter. Missing both his tackles doesn't really matter. The Chargers still prevail. Jim Harbaugh is a big factor of that. Justin Herbert's toughness is a big factor of that. I actually really like the Chargers. They just, again, another team that just has too many injuries for me to really take seriously in the playoffs, but they're definitely a playoff team, and they're definitely a good team. With the injuries that they've had, the fact that they're still 9-4 is extremely impressive, and that really comes back down to quarterback and head coach. Getting those two right, you're going to be in the playoffs pretty much every single year. But I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender. Number 9, the Philadelphia Eagles. Clearly something is wrong with the offense. It's really funny because once A.J. Brown starts getting involved, they lose. It's like, but when he's not involved, they win. It just doesn't make sense. Usually when your best player goes off, you do better. You win more. It's a weird situation there. And having a different coordinator every single year is not helping your quarterback. It's hurting him a lot. And you could blame Jalen Hurts all you want, but when you're constantly rotating coordinator after coordinator, year after year, it's hard to succeed like that. It's impossible. It's literally fucking impossible. Yeah, Kevin Patullo, he's not a good offensive coordinator. I think we all know that. But you fire him, bring another guy in, a good guy, then he gets a head coaching job, you're back at square one. So it's kind of, you're going to be in this repetitive cycle over and over again until you find a guy that you can keep long term on the offensive side of the ball as coordinator. So they're still too talented not to potentially make a run in the playoffs. They can get hot at the right time and win a Super Bowl. They could win the Super Bowl if they get hot. It's just whether or not they do get hot because it's been off all season. So we'll see. I still don't doubt them because of the talent. I do not doubt them. They have players that can take over games. So if those players click, they can win the Super Bowl again. I don't think they will, but it's definitely possible with that roster. Number 8, the San Francisco 49ers. Kyle Shanahan deserves to be a Coach of the Year candidate. Winning multiple games with Mac Jones, who looked impressive, but yeah, again, Mac Jones was a laughingstock a few seasons ago. Kyle Shanahan hones it in, makes him better pretty much, made him better. The defense, way too injured, though, to make a run in the playoffs. They'll be in the playoffs, but the defense is just decimated with injuries. Decimated. But Robert Saleh has done an excellent job with that defense. There's no doubt about that. They've been overperforming the entire season. And there's no doubt that Robert Saleh knows defense. He left the Jets immediately last season, worse on defense, the second he left. Went to the Niners, the defense immediately got better. So bringing back Saleh was huge for them. I think this had been, for the San Francisco 49ers, a great showing of their coaches. I think it's been a coaching clinic for the 49ers. And having those two coaches in Saleh and Shanahan, you have to feel pretty happy about that if you're a Niner fan. And the defense, it's going to be tough to stay in these games in the playoffs because your defense is just so decimated. Eventually it's going to catch up to you. The NFC is so stacked, it's going to be hard to win a playoff game. I don't think they win a playoff game, but they've been very impressive nonetheless. Number 7, the Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell has gotten the offense back on track a little bit. I think he's starting to slowly improve as a play caller. And I'm starting to think, although that he's improved as a play caller, I'm starting to think that I can never trust Jared Goff in the playoffs. He's a bad cold weather player. Once that glove goes on that right hand, it's all over. You're chopped, man. You're fucked. So, and then once he starts getting a combination of that, cold weather, the glove on the right hand, and then once he starts getting pressure up the middle, that's a recipe for disaster for Jared Goff. He immediately, in those 2 or 3 conditions, goes from a top 10 quarterback to a bottom 10 quarterback. It's that drastic. With the small hands, and just California kid, always in warm weather. Lines are in the dome. You're going to be playing some cold teams in the playoffs. You could be playing at Chicago in the playoffs. You could be playing at Green Bay in the playoffs. You could be playing at Seattle in the playoffs. All cold weather cities. And that could end up being kind of a disaster for them. And then the defense has not played up to what they should be. A lot of injuries, understand that. But it's not their year. It's just not their year. They're another team they have enough talent. They get hot at the right time. They could win a Super Bowl, I guess. But Jared Goff's not a good cold weather player. And the playoffs is all about cold weather. Unless they get a home game, which they're probably not. They're going to be a wild card most likely. And they just have too much talent not to put in the top 7. But at the same time, it's like, I don't trust Jared Goff to put them above 7. Number 6, the Chicago Bears are in the top 6. Would have never expected this before the season. The best thing about them, they have an identity on offense. They know what they like to do on offense. They like to run the ball, play action, be physical. And when Caleb has to, he makes a big play, extending plays and rolling out and throwing on the run. And Ben Johnson knows what Caleb is, and he leans into that. He knows Caleb's not going to be a 68 completion percentage guy, but he knows that Caleb Williams will make big plays when he has to. And he kind of plays around that. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Boom, explosive play by Caleb. That's kind of what their offense has been, and it's working. So, Ben Johnson probably is the front runner for Coach of the Year right now, even though I love Kyle Shanahan with what he's done. But, to take the laughingstock Bears with Eberflus last year, which was a shit show, and now turn him into being 9-4. Number 5, the Denver Broncos. Offense could be a little inconsistent, but such an elite defense. But the offense I do worry about. Bo Nix I do worry about a little bit. I like Bo Nix. I think he has a way stronger arm than people think. I think he's way faster than people think. I think he's a lot more talented than people give him credit for, but his decision-making can be pretty off sometimes. And he's not a great deep ball thrower, which he doesn't have to be. Look at Oregon. It was a lot of short passes, dink and dunk. And I think to get back to that a little bit, that would be the optimal scenario for Bo Nix. Doesn't mean that you don't have to. It doesn't mean that you never throw the ball down the field, but you have to kind of find a happy medium with him. He's a great short ball thrower. He's an elite short ball thrower, not a great deep ball thrower. You can improve on that over time, but you want to play to a quarterback's strengths. And I feel like Sean Payton gets a little stubborn sometimes, but nonetheless, they could be a threat in the playoffs. This could be a Super Bowl contender. Number 4, the Green Bay Packers. I'm not gonna lie, things got rocky for a little bit. Things definitely got rocky, but they've righted the ship. And some big wins as of late. I think Jordan Love's played stunning as of late. I think Matt LaFleur's called some great games as of late. Now that Christian Watson's playing like this, he's playing like a one. He's elevated this team. You lose Tucker Kraft, and it's almost like a trade-off because Watson comes in and looks like this. Now you get Jaden Reed back. The defense is a top 5 defense. Number 3, the Seattle Seahawks. Explosive offense. Very explosive. They have so much talent on both sides of the ball. I mean, this team, the sky's the limit. Sam Darnold is clearly a top 15 guy. There's no doubt about that at this point. You can't argue that. He's a top 15 guy, pushing top 10. Now, the question is, can he take that next step? Can he have success in the playoffs? Can he have success against the better teams? I'm not going to lie. He shit the bed. He's folded a little bit. I'm not going to lie. He does have a lot of really stupid turnovers. I do think he needs to cut that back, but that's also why he's so great. He makes a lot of explosive plays, but then he also creates a lot of turnovers. So I'm fine with turnovers as long as you're throwing 2-3 touchdowns a game, which he has been for the most part this season. So Seattle, Jackson Smith and Jigba has had a career year. It's been insane. And the defense, they have such a fast defense, too. So they have a lot of talent on this roster. And they've been blowing teams out, the majority of teams. So this team, I mean, I can't see Sam Darnold going to a Super Bowl, but the way they've been playing, or the way this roster is constructed, this could be a Super Bowl roster. It's just whether or not Sam Darnold can step up in the playoffs. It all comes down to Sam Darnold. I hate to say it, love the guy. It comes down to Sam Darnold. And I think eventually he's going to prevail. I don't know if it's going to be this season, and he's going to get a lot of hate if he loses in the first round, but, I think if they keep at it, this team will win the Super Bowl eventually. Number 2, the New England Patriots. A prime example of getting the quarterback and the head coach right and turning your franchise around. People don't think of the Patriots as some great roster. It's not like they have a bad roster. Some of these players have developed, but they don't have a top 5 roster. But when you get the coach right and the quarterback right, I mean, you could be a top team in the league. So they're showing that once you get those 2 things right, your franchise is immediately turned around overnight. Drake May, I mean, who's playing better than Drake May right now other than Stafford? Drake May has been a top 5 quarterback this year. He's elevated to a different category. And Mike Vrabel is Mike Vrabel. So this team, I mean, the Patriots could. And the AFC's wide open. The NFC's stacked, but the AFC's wide open. I think this is the best team in the AFC, the Patriots. And it's crazy to think about going from Brady to Drake May, and this team has a shot at a Super Bowl. I mean, it just never ends. I'm a Jets fan, and New England, they never go away. They never go away. But I'm happy for them because they did it right. They did it the right way. They brought in a head coach that's a leader and that was proven to win, but also played for them. And then they drafted the right quarterback. They could have went at 3 with J.J. McCarthy. They could have went with Michael Penix. They could have went with Bo Nix because I watched a lot of draft analysis videos and people had J.J. McCarthy over Drake May. People had Bo Nix over Drake May. Maybe not Bo Nix, but people had Michael Penix over Drake May. And I thought that was crazy, even though going to the draft, you really don't know shit. But it was obvious that Drake May was the most talented quarterback of the entire group in that draft, including Jaden Daniels, including Caleb Williams. Drake May is the most talented guy that came out of that draft. I mean, the arm angles, the touch on his passes, his speed running the ball, his size, his leadership. I mean, he was clearly, looking back on it, he had number 1 overall pick ability. looking back on it now. But hindsight's always 2020. But the Patriots are like set up for the next 15 years. And the number one team in the NFL, the Los Angeles Rams. Great on offense, great on defense. They rarely make mistakes, rarely have turnovers, and they rarely get penalized. So this is a team that does everything right. Elite head coach, elite quarterback, 2 elite receivers, elite running back, elite pieces on defense, Jared Verse. They're just really, really, really solid all around. And they're such a well-rounded team. And the offense is a little older, but the defense is younger. And both of them are top 5 units right now. So this is the Rams year. And it's their last chance because Stafford, we don't know how much longer he has. They should be considering this their last chance to win a Super Bowl with Matt Stafford. Because moving forward, we don't know if the back's going to start acting up again. We don't know if he's going to get a different injury because he's old. You are the team to beat in the NFC. You are the best team in the league. And it's going to be hard to take you down unless Stafford has an off day like he did against the Panthers. That's the only way you're going to lose. If Stafford kind of goes haywire, the offense is a mess. But with Devontae Adams and Puka and Kyron Williams, it's going to be hard for that to happen. You could just start handing the ball off to Kyron Williams, kind of reset yourself, and then boom, Devontae Adams on the slant. I mean, it's really hard to stop this offense. And the defense is just very feisty and very young and very exciting. They've really improved this season. I think they're a top 5 unit, and there's not much to not like about the Rams. So it's do or die for them. It really is. But I think this is their year. I had them going 14-3 before the season. They're at 10-3 right now, and it's really, it's funny because I think the top 2 teams that I have, the Rams and the Patriots, that's going to be the Super Bowl, Rams-Patriots. So, I mean, that's my early predictions. I think it's going to be Rams-Patriots. The Patriots, I feel like they could stack up with and beat every single team in the AFC. They've already beaten the Bills. I think they would beat the Broncos. Who else we got? I think they would beat the Chargers. I think they would beat the Texans. I think they would beat the Jaguars. I mean, let's look at I think my top 10, 1, 2, 3. I have 3 AFC teams in my top 10, 7 NFC teams. Rams, Seahawks, 2 NFC West teams in the top 3. Packers, Bears, Lions, Niners, Eagles. And it's not even counting the Bucs, who are probably going to win the division. The Panthers are feisty. The Cowboys have been feisty. I mean, the NFC is absolutely loaded. The AFC now is lacking. Where we had a couple seasons ago, the AFC was stacked with all the young quarterbacks, and the NFC had some old quarterbacks and some nobodies. Now it's kind of getting even. But the Rams are just so talented. It's going to be harder for the Rams to make the Super Bowl than the Patriots, but the Patriots have it all in front of them. But the Rams just have so much talent, and if all their players play to 70% of what they're capable of, they're going to win. One of their key players will have to have a disaster for them to lose games pretty much in the playoffs. So I'm going to repeat that. Number 1, I have the Rams. Number 2, Patriots. 3, Seahawks. 4, Packers. 5, Broncos. 6, Bears. 7, Lions. 8, Niners. 9, Eagles. 10, Chargers. 11, Bills. 12, Texans. 13, Jaguars. 14, Bucks. 15, Panthers. 16, Cowboys. I'll add one more team in. I'll put the Colts at 17, just missing. Why? Daniel Jones out for the season. Broke his leg, then tore his Achilles. It's a mess. Phillip Rivers signed to the practice squad. That's absolutely insane. What is he, 44, 45? When he was on the Colts last, his arm was already weak and kind of shot, but he played well that season. They made the playoffs, lost in the first round, had a good fight against the Bills in the playoffs. But at that point, we thought Phillip Rivers was a little bit washed. So, now, his arm's probably even weaker. Who knows if he's been working out? And as a fan, I am all for this. This is going to be one of the most exciting things we've seen all season. Phillip Rivers come pretty much from the dead back to play. Phillip Rivers played with Eli Manning. I feel like Eli Manning hasn't played in forever. Phillip Rivers played with quarterbacks like Byron Leftwich was in the league with Phillip Rivers. This is insane. I mean, I don't think this has happened ever. Maybe I think Vinny Testaverde played at an insanely old age. Brady played at 45, but he played consecutively through 35 to 45 and was great up until the end. But to see someone go, what is it? What was the last time he played? Was it 2020? 5-6 years, hit their mid-40s, being retired and come back. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Especially with the guy whose arm was pretty much shot at the end of his career. His first career. I guess this is his second career. But I'm all for that. As a fan, I want to see that happen. Please have Phillip Rivers start a game. I beg you, Indianapolis Colts. Have Phillip Rivers start a game and make us all happy. And if he plays well in that game, I don't even know what I'm going to come on here and say. I will be in shell shock. I think they play Seattle next, so that might be a little bit of a mess, but I would love to see that for sure. So we'll see what happens, but he's on the practice squad right now. Doesn't mean he's necessarily going to play. Probably not this week, too, especially because he's got to get with the system. But I heard he's been talking to Steichen about the plays for a while now. So apparently he knows the system. It's a weird situation. Please, Colts. I really want to see this. I think we all want to see this. That might be the most exciting thing that we've seen all season. For someone to come back from being 6 years retired in his mid-40s, whose arm was shot when he retired, and have success, sign me up, man. Sign me up. See you later, guys. Take care.